Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Here it's a little bit warmer. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Sharon. Happy Sunday. It's supposed to get up into the 50s today. Yay. Yesterday, I hope it was for a while. We got a really low temperature again. I mean, it was Friday night 7 degrees and yesterday 20, and last night it went down to 19, but today is supposed to go up to 50s, lower 50s, and then the rest of the week we are supposed to have the same kind of stuff. And then there is the possibility between February 10 and 15 to get another cold snow snap. But at least we're gonna have a week of good stuff. Anyway, now I did not pre-plan this game. Okay, I just wanted to show you how my mind works. And I did a couple of Skinner blends already, so you don't have to wait for me to make them. Hi, Debbie. This is with jungle green and wasabi. And once again, if you do not have jungle green, because it stopped being manufactured a while ago, but if you go to my website, kalyanadesign.com, you can find the recipe for it on the front page. Might not be the first one because the way that I arranged the articles on the homepage, they are random, so they will circulate when it comes to the order. But so it's starting from jungle green to wasabi, and here I have starting from cayenne red, fuchsia, and then the pale blue with just a touch of wasabi, just to make this will be the flower, this will be the leaf, and let us start with it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to get this in a proper way to get the flower. So in order to roll it, I'm going to have to get it in a long strip. So I'm going to place this here, and then I'm going to place this here, and then turn it around and use my roller to make sure that these top slices will not go wonky when I go with it through the pasta machine. And then I'm going to get it through the pasta machine twice, once on the thicker setting, and then I'm going to lower the setting to a thinner setting. So this is on the thicker setting, and I'm going to go on a 5. And remember, the thinner the setting, the better will be your transition, your gradient. And I'm actually going to go even lower. I'm going to go on a 7. Now, normally I would cut and stack these, but because we are on a live, I don't want you to have to wait forever for me to do that. So I'm going to just fan fold. And generally speaking, you kind of want to go with the fan about the same thickness as the width. Of course, you can redo the dimension once it is done, but for the best, and it's the same for stacking. Why I prefer stacking to fanning is because here you kind of get a double dose of the color when you're fanning on the edge. So yeah, I was telling my sponsors yesterday, because last week I didn't have any live, and I can tell you it was horrible. It was so cold that of course the floor got cold, and I had 2 pairs of thick socks and some thick slippers, and my feet would still kind of freeze whenever I would have to walk a little bit longer around the house. So honestly, I spent most of the time in bed or on the couch, reading and watching stuff with my kitties. And I have another thing, Finnegan, when he goes to take a nap on the bed, he demands that I turn on the tablet for him so he can watch videos. I swear that cat is addicted to videos. Okay, so we got this nice and pretty, and I am going to reduce it in size and actually make 2 petals. One is going to be a little bit bigger than the other. And because of that, I am going to actually not cut in half, but cut a little bit, kind of like in 3/5 and 2/5. So there we go. Make sure that it is well pressed and done. So this will be one of the petals, and this will be the other petal, but the other petal will be a little bit longer. Than the first petal, and I'm going to introduce some white. And in order to introduce the white, I will be making a little snake. So just a second, I need to look at something. Okay. So first I make the bead as usual until I have no folding lines on the bead, and then gently encourage it to go into a cylindrical shape. Yeah, you need to talk nicely to your clay if you want it to do what. I don't know about you, but I have this bad habit of talking to things, like when it comes to the clay, if it doesn't want to do what I want it to do, or when things fall, I would berate them. Okay, so hold on, this is not right. This is supposed to be the same. Just bigger. Okay, so I'm gonna go this. I'm going to put 3 of them. And this one I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. And flatten it. Flatten it. Flatten it, and not just flatten it, but what I'm going to do is to do a wedgie on the, I know it's not a wedgie, but yeah, and I talk a lot to my computer, a lot. And whenever I do anything on the website and I need to change something in the coding and it doesn't work, of course I'm going to get all nasty with it. Okay, so okay. Actually I needed 4 of these. There we go. So let's place one here. I know they got too long when I flattened them. Oops. Hello. And then the small one, I'm gonna put it here. And this. And then the other bigger one, again, a little bit higher. And there we go. We have one of the petals. And we are going to do this kind of sort of the same for this one. Again. And one a little smaller. I got them a little shorter this time in case you didn't notice. Just in case they decide to get wider or longer like the other ones did. Because you can always pull a little bit. Oh, you know what? With my laptop, I always use an external keyboard. Always. Because I cannot deal with a regular laptop keyboard. I just can't. So I always use an external keyboard. Probably because my fingernails are too long. And I cannot touch the keys properly. So again, one a little bit higher. And see, this one also got too long. And then the smaller one a little bit lower. This one is the proper size. And then the last one again a little bit higher. And there we go. This is the smaller petal. and we want them to be the same height. Now I'm going to make some small leaves, and in order to make the small leaves I'm going to do a barbed cane. If you haven't watched, if you look in my playlists on my channel, and I think they are in the, not in the beginner canes, but in the medium cane playlist. And again, I'm going to put it through on a thicker setting, and probably I'm going to go all the way to 7. And starting with the lighter side, you start rolling. Hey Darla. Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks because we had bad weather. I didn't, fortunately I didn't lose power. But as I said, as I was afraid, I wouldn't have been able to sit on this chair for not even 15 minutes. The floor was so cold, especially over the weekend. And also the barometer was horrible. It was high. We had a high. But when I mean high, it actually went to 30.7 something. I've honestly never seen it that high before. Not even when we had the ice storm back in 2007. Okay, and I'm going to try and make 3 leaves out of it. We'll see if that works. So the regular, I'm not going to put an extra wrapping. That's the only thing that's different. So I'll simply cut it in half, and then again in half. And now we're going to start pulling the edges over. The only thing you need to be careful is that the rounded part will have the tendency to stay smaller, while the lighter part, the center part, will want to go poop. So this is how it's supposed to be, and see how the darker part, you just have to pull a little bit on each of the edges. It's not that big of a deal. Just make sure that both sides are the same length. See, this is how they look, and you need to pull on the bottom. And then we are going to flatten. And if need be, if they are not all the same length, you can pull them a little bit. So this definitely needs to be pulled a little, and it is okay if they are not the same width, because the beauty in this barbed cane is the uneven look. Alrighty, so we just put them together here. Now the extra wrapping with the darker color, you would bring it even a little bit more in, and that makes this whole thing more defined. But we are doing a leaf here, we don't really need all that. So all you do is make it into a rectangular cane, like this. And now we can cut it in half and we'll simply place it like this. But before placing it like that, what we need to do is to diagonalize it. So just press from one end to the other until you get something like this. And the other one, I'm going to press it the other, actually the same, yeah, it's fine. It has to go this way. And then all we have to do is to place them together like this, and we will have pretty leaves. And now all I have to do is, now of course one thing that you can do if you have problems reducing a diamond shape, you can just reduce that initial rectangular cane until you get it very, very thin, and then you can make 3 different canes out of it. But the way that you reduce a diamond cane, you just go from both sides and you pinch in and then gently stretch and flip it over and do the same thing. Alrighty, so it should be, this should be it. I'm going to get rid of the wastage at the ends. And see, it's pretty leaf. Let me see, one. I'm actually going to get more. Going to get 4 leaves, 3 larger and 1 a little bit smaller, because this one needs to be just a bit larger. And as weird as it might seem, it is going to be wrapped in black. Okay, let's make sure that we are on the same height here. I'm just measuring right now, they are not going to be like this. Okay, now I got my black, and I'm going to first place some black on this side and a very thin black here, very thin, so in between them. So let me grab a little piece of black and get it thin. Alrighty, so only this much I need. Okay, so we got these now. I'm going to get one of the larger leaves and place it in here. Actually, I'm going to put another little piece of black between the two leaves. So what is the smallest? This is the smallest one. Okay, so the black will go like this, and go in here like this, and then we are going to have a little bit here, and then the other one I'm going to place it a little lower, so like this. So this will be practically my triangle. It's going to be filled here with black. I'm going to put some little decorative elements in that black as well, but just to start it, let's get the first wrap. So diagonal cut. And this, and this is too white. And again a second one. So there was a here, but it was just a little line. I thought, oh my God, Finnegan got again on the okay, so there we go. So I cut in a diagonal and I flipped. And I'm going to cut this again. And another diagonal. Cut. Oops. Don't cut the other one. Don't cut the leaf. Okay, now let's place some black in between these. I have another piece here. Let's place some black here. Oops. And again diagonal. And again diagonal. Just to make sure that it goes in all those little nooks and crannies. And again this. And diagonal, and this time we go between this one and this one. And I have a diagonal here, so I'm going to wedge it in here. Now, before I do anything else, let me put some... what do you think? Should I use wasabi or should I use yellow to make a few little accents here? Or white? What do you think would work the best? Like little sparklies. I know I'm waiting because I know there's a few seconds delay because I chose the slow so nobody would get buffering. So I'm waiting for your decision. If you think wasabi, yellow, or white. In the meantime, I'm going to make me some little strings for the filling. You know how I love to fill the canes with strings. Yeah, it would pop. It would pop. Okay. So yellow it is. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Stacy. If I don't say hi to somebody, it's because it means that I'm watching what I'm doing here, and only from time to time I'm looking at the chat. And it might be going up. I may not see it anymore. But that is why I have my good friend Elaine there. Because she was very kind to accept and be my moderator. I am glad that, because initially the main thing was that we would get all those trolls and bots, and I wouldn't see them in time. And I needed a moderator. Okay, so let's place one here. And then give it a few strings. You know how I use my fingernails to cut. You don't have to use your fingernails to cut. That is my thing. I don't know, I just find it faster. Okay, let's place one here. One here. Oops, didn't cut this one well. And then more. By the way, Colleen, I love your little dragons. I forgot to mention that. And Facebook pisses me off sometimes because it doesn't show me everything, even if I do the effort to do the likes and do the, because you know that's the main thing. It's not all those messages that you get that if you want to see your friends you need to copy and paste and you need to know. The algorithm will show you posts of friends that you interact with. So if you keep getting on your feed stuff from a friend, but you don't comment and you don't like and you don't have any kind of interaction with that post, the algorithm will say, okay, so you're not interested in this person, we will not show you anything of them anymore. But sometimes it bloops, because I realize at one point, oh my god, I didn't see anything from XYZ in a while. and I have to go on their profile page or their page, not profile page, and check and go back and make sure that I liked. If I only liked, I place a comment to make sure that they come back on my feed. You know, it's ridiculous. Okay, and we need a little bit more black here. And then I'm going to give it one black around here just for the good times. Okay, time to reduce. I know it looks kind of huge, but I promise you it's reducible. Just make sure that all your stuff is well put together. And you kind of need to have it in a straight corner here, because this is what's going to go in the middle. So I'm pressing including in the middle, even if normally I don't, because I told you it will make your middle go convex. But at this point it's a very big. You can make it taller than this if you have problems with reducing such a short, as in height, cane. But thank you. Yeah, I know it's not all bright and white and stuff with the black, but I think it's still spring-ish, and it pops up the flower. The black pops up the flower. And I've seen a ton of beautiful more or less organic or geometric canes, but I haven't seen many with flowers. So I decided to do one like this. And some people, even if it is spring, they like to dress in a little bit darker colors with some light colored accents. So and I'm going to have some surprises for you this week, hopefully, because I'm getting, as I said, I wasn't able to work much during all that cold, and then I had to catch up with house cleaning, because you'd say, well, but you were in bed, you didn't do much stuff to mess up the house. Don't forget, I have cats, and cats shed, especially long-haired cats. So I found something that is absolutely fabulous, because I told you before I had a carding brush that I've been using on my carpet. That's excellent with long fur cat hair, because I cannot just use just the vacuum, because at one point the hair wraps around the brush, and I have to go with my toenail clipper and cut and then undo it from there, and I don't like doing that. So I've been using a carding brush for the carpet before vacuuming, but it's a short handle, so I had to either bend or go on all four, and it was hard on my back and on my knees. And then I tried, let me show you exactly what. It's not in my Amazon influencer store, so I'm not making any money out of this. If you want for me to make money, go first in my influencer store and then go to this link. But initially I didn't believe that it was so good, but I said it was on sale, and I said, what the heck. So I got it, I'm still there. I'm trying to find it. Not only the last month. 2005. I forgot how it's called. I think it's called rake. It's rake, not eek, and not wake. Let's see if it comes for rake. Yes. There we go. I'm going to post the link and then go in the display so I can show you this. And it came with an extra one for furniture and stuff. But I can tell you that it is phenomenal. Even it took out even stuff that I had used my carding brush before, probably because I cannot bend properly, and with the torn meniscus it's very hard for me to go on all four. Okay, I guess we can cut this in half. Now careful, when you place them together, make sure that it doesn't go small to small. Okay, make sure that it goes large to small. And here we have that one side is a little bit, it's not really right angle properly. Okay, there we go. Now we got another triangle. But yeah, it's still tiring for me, but it's much better. So I had to go through all the house and do first the raking, and then the vacuuming, and then the dusting. I did a good thing though. My neighbor came right before the whole thing started and helped me change my it really works. I don't know about other brands, but the one that I got, the one that I linked to you, really worked. And so as I was saying, my neighbor came and changed my air filter because I knew that my heater was going to keep on going and going and going, and I wanted to have a fresh air filter. And then I did another thing. So it started Friday, okay, and it started on a Friday and it lasted until like the next Thursday, and then Thursday and Friday were much nice and warmer, like in the lower 40s, but then Saturday was bad again. But I had the same neighbor came Friday morning before the temperature started going below freezing. I filled my bathtub with water to have for the toilet, and I filled a lot of pots and a lot of empty 2-liter bottles with water. And I asked him to come and turn off my water because I didn't want. We were supposed to have. We had 2 days over the weekend. It was one of the days was the high was 14 and the next one was 12, and we had the lows going to 0, and I didn't want to be all worried and having to worry about my pipes freezing and exploding and stuff. So I went without water for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so for 5 days. But I had enough water, right? And that way it was a good thing that I didn't have to worry. My water was fine. And I also had gotten a case of bottled water to have, mostly for the kitties. I'm not so worried about myself. I'm mostly worried for them, especially for Finnegan, because you know his health issues. Okay. So there we go. This is just a plain, and now of course it's a little bit diamondy, but of course we can fix that. And now it will be easier to reduce, especially if you have one of Tiny Pandora's square pairs. Now if you want less of this, of course just place just a little thin black, but here's the little flower, spring flower cane. It doesn't look that good right now at the ends because I need to reduce it a lot more. And as you know, my hands start getting tired after a while. And now it's too big to use the square pairs for it. But I'm going to get my thin blade and still cut a slice so you can see. And you can see that once it's going to be much smaller, it's going to be much cuter. And you can make a bracelet out of it. I would, you know, one of those straight bracelets, especially the, you can get the blanks that have a like stop on the edge and an indentation in the middle. You can just put those around and it will look fabulous. Just getting it more squarified so I can cut a slice and show you. Okay. Oh, I don't need this. I need this. There we go. It's still not perfectly done, but at least you can figure out how it's going to look like. So I hope you enjoy it, and you try it and you enjoy it, and you can make a whole bunch of other stuff with it. And you've seen there's two, both the petal and the leaf, they are not hard to make, and you can make all kinds of different other patterns. You can make a whole bunch of little leaves, you can make many things. You can even make more petals than just 4. You can make the whole thing in a hexagon, and then you'll have, instead of 8 petals, you'll have 12. But again, I hope you like it, and I shall see you next Sunday. And don't forget to look out for something coming out this week. Okay? Thank you so much. I love you all. And I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.